Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Bushman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for each life path number for the new moon that's coming up on November 13th, 2023. This, of course, is a general forecast. If you would like me to go through your personal numerology or your own personal forecast, I would love to do that. Just book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Now, for this new moon, by the time this comes around, we'll be well beyond eclipse season. Still probably feeling the effects of the eclipse season because they do kind of take some time, 6 months to a year, to fully unfold the storylines. But we should be out of the heat of it. I'm actually recording this on the eclipse, but by the time this new moon comes around, we should have clear insights of what's unfolding because of those eclipses, or what was closed out and what could be coming in. So let's take a look at this new moon and see what this could be bringing in for us. Life path number 5. So this new moon is bringing up some interesting energy for you all. It's bringing up the energy of the 9, but it's also bringing up hyena energy. And so I want to talk about this, but I do want to mention this new moon is happening in the sign of Scorpio, and it's a cycle 13-4 for the collective. And so that is significant for your reading because there's a lot about death, transformation, rebirth, and the sort of diving deeper into the psyche, the shadows, doing the shadow work, healing, that sort of thing, forgiveness, all of the things, right? And so working with 9 energy, which you all are going to be doing, there is definitely something here about closing things out, releasing, again, forgiveness, compassion, empathy, being the bigger person, mending what can be mended, or releasing what needs to be released, right? So there's definitely something here about that. And it's interesting because that ties in, of course, beautifully with the Scorpio energy and the 13-4 energy of this new moon. But then if you couple that with the hyena energy that you all are working with, when we look at hyena energy, there's this sense of betrayal, deep wounding, and recovery. So I would say, and this is more specific, so this isn't going to resonate for everyone. And if it doesn't resonate for you, then I would say that you may be called to hold space for someone who is moving through something like this, right? And that might be your call to action around this new moon. But for some of you, there is going to be sort of this need for a deep dive into those wounds, into where it is that you keep sort of, this is kind of a gruesome example, but to where you keep going in and digging at that wound without actively trying to heal it or allowing it to heal in a healthy way so that it can actually form the scab and then the scar, right? There's some kind of wounding, whether it came from another person or, something that maybe you did that you have remorse for or regret or whatever. There's something that is still raw and needs to be looked at and worked through and cleaned up and sort of healed, right? And it likely could do, because with hyena, there's this energy of betrayal. So it could very likely be feeling like you were betrayed in some way by someone. And you're really being asked at this time to go deep, take a really close look at it, work through it, heal it. And that's not an overnight thing, right? That's like a journey. And so this would be the beginning of that journey because it is, of course, a new moon. But ultimately, there's got to be this going within and working through what you can work through within yourself that really has nothing to do with the other person or that experience, so that you can heal whatever this is, so that you can move forward in a lighter way, because there's also that energy with hyena of recovery. And I would also say with a 9, there is that energy of release, right? Everything's transient, including the experiences. When we hold on to the emotional wounding, it just fuels that fire, as opposed to acknowledging, working with it, and then sort of transmuting or channeling that energy into something healthy, productive, progressive. So this would actually, be a great time to see a therapist or see someone who can hold unbiased space for you, where they're not going to have a biased opinion, whoever that may be for you, that can help you to move through this and release it so that you're not carrying this baggage forward. Now, with new moons, it's about a 2-week period that we feel this energy pretty intensely. So I would say that it could be a very sensitive new moon for you all, where it brings up some old wounding or some things maybe you thought that you dealt with and were done with, right? But they come back up and they're like, nope, I'm still here. I still need to be looked at. So, I think that that's a very strong likelihood. And we all have those sort of things, right? That come up, that crop back up. We're like, man, I thought I dealt with that 10 years ago. Why is that here again? And so, it's just an opportunity to revisit the lessons that we may have learned, to revisit, are we truly over this? Have we truly forgive this? Have we truly moved on? Have we truly, all those things. That could really be the sort of theme around this new moon for you all. And same thing with the 9, right? When the 9 enters the building, it's saying, well, you know what? We're going to be the bigger person today, and we're going to make the moves to heal this or make it better or, whatever. Not sacrificing self to do so, not putting yourself in a dangerous or something like, or toxic situation. That's not what the 9 is saying. The 9 is saying, you need to do what you can do for you to move forward in a healthy way. And ultimately, it has nothing to do with the other person. And so how do we come to terms with that? How do we learn to forgive self, others, and the universe for those atrocities or whatever it is that happened that, will never make sense potentially? But how do we come to terms with that? And how do we work through it so that it doesn't continue to hold us back? Or it doesn't continue to influence our actions in the world, like the way that we see the world or move through the world, right? Because someone who's been harmed moves through the world in a different way than somebody who has not been harmed, right? So, so it's looking at all those deeper things. For sure, I think this is going to be, for you all, a very sensitive new moon, potentially. Again, not for everybody, but for a majority. Just because there's so many deep emotional, like, the shadow work, that sort of thing, kind of energies with Scorpio, 13-4, the 9, the hyena. Yeah, this is going to be a big one for you all. But with that can come a tremendous amount of freedom, a tremendous amount of independence from whatever it is that's been restricting you. Emotionally or physically or whatever the case may be. So it's big energy that you're working with for this new moon, but you've got this. So I hope it's a great one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.